Ooh, that looks tasty. Welcome, folks. Today, the Hungry Gamer is back with the first and probably the last ever episode of The Two Gluttons, which would be that guy and this guy. And we are here to celebrate Potion Con from Cardboard Alchemy, and which is only because of the amazing support and love that we received from the last time that we did something for Cardboard Alchemy, which did not get any complaints about we wish those two guys would just shut up and let us watch the game. Not a single person said that, and we are
No,
so, we knew we were good, but we didn't know
you know,
how
I,
good.
I didn't realize there were people out there who love the sound of our voices more than we do, and that just goes to show that
Yeah.
there aren't.
And I
Yeah,
mean,
but
yeah, you would think we would be used to it, with our wives being done with us, but that's not true. We both have very supportive wives. I shouldn't say
yeah.
that. That's just me falling into tropes that I shouldn't do. It's because we're old, old tropes.
Well, I'm old.
Yeah, I'm amazed that you were actually still awake.
It's 5:15. It is an early time in the UK. It is anyway. It's like it's I don't know wherever the time difference is in the UK about quarter past in the US about quarter past 3 in the morning, something like that over there.
Yeah, well,
But yeah,
it's Friday. I mean, shouldn't you be at the early bird special at Denny's right now?
they don't have Denny's in the UK.
Oh, well, more's the pity.
Although
It's the fun fact about Denny's. They've been serving minorities in the United States since 1996. Now, you think I'm just making a joke. I'm pretty sure it was 1996 when they got in trouble because they wouldn't serve an African American Secret Service agent, and it
man,
was like a
okay.
whole thing. So,
Damn. No, that's not good news. And I ate at Denny's when I was over visiting you as well. So yeah,
well, they served you no problem.
yeah.
Like, I
I
mean,
mean, given the size, as a food-based show, and given the size of my middle-aged spread, I don't think there's anything minority about that. It's quite a majority of my body
yes,
right now. Yeah. So
yeah, it's been so that's a, well, I don't want to say a good segue. That's a segue to get us into what we're doing here. So, kind of in
hmm.
celebration of Critter Kitchen. Well, the next game coming up, I believe, is actually launching a few days after this is airing. The food-based 7-course meal creation game. We have decided that we're going to do a 7-course gaming menu for you. And I went and I looked up the fanciest 7-course order that I could find. And so this is what we have. We're starting with the amuse-bouche. And so what that's going to mean for us is we're going to have, it's a game that can be taught in under 5 minutes and played in 15 minutes. That's the one bite. Then we're going to
Yeah.
move into the soup, and I'll explain what each of these are when we get there. The soup, the fish course, the palate cleanser, the main course, the cold salad, which is, that must be like a French thing.
I don't normally, no, but we're going to do it
Oh,
anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to do it.
We may play fast and loose, but we're going to do it. Yeah.
Because I
So.
mean, the internet doesn't lie, and the internet
No.
told me that it is a thing that after your main course, you have a cold salad before dessert. So, and I challenge anyone to find evidence of where the internet has lied. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly right. Yeah, we trust it 100%.
Exactly. So we're gonna jump right in here. So starting with the amuse-bouche again, you can teach it in 5 minutes,
Hmm.
play it in under 15.
Yeah.
What's your amuse-bouche? What are we starting with?
Well, first of all, I did think for this virtual meal that we're having, I would dress for the occasion. I would obviously show some British sartorial elegance, and it's nice to see that you've gone there looking like I don't know Bubba, who's just about ready to go out and shoot a deer. But anyway,
Well, I w-
we
I
digress.
won't lie. I did roll out of bed and I did brush my teeth and I got some coffee and I'm
Yeah,
here. And I would just like to point out, you were saying earlier that it's very cold there in England right now.
it is at the moment. Yeah,
And it matches the coldness of your decor behind you.
it's my dining room. It's a greyish wall.
I mean,
I would.
put a plant back there, a
There is
stick,
stuff.
a single stick would warm it
Look
up a
up
little
there.
bit.
There you go. You can see there's some stuff hung on the wall up there. Yeah, and
Uh-huh.
over the other side, there's loads of stuff. Anyway, onto the amuse-bouche,
Yes,
onto
the
a
amuse-bouche.
game. Yeah, the amuse-bouche. The kind of starter, the taster. And what I've gone for here is I kind of like Indian and spicy food basically. So I've gone for a perfectly themed kind of style game, which will give you a nice little flavour in your mouth. And that game is Jaipur. It's a great little two-player game, nice and spicy. Can be taught relatively quickly and played in about 15 minutes or so. And my wife doesn't play massive amounts of board games, but does like a game of Jaipur. We take it on holiday with us, and it tends to be one of those things when you're winding down in the evening, you're having a drink, maybe some little snacks, etc. And Jaipur will hit the table because it's a perfectly kind of timed game for something you can play quickly that gives that and evokes that element of spicy food and Far Eastern cuisine. So my amuse-bouche, definitely Jaipur.
Oh, okay. I didn't see. We're hitting all the regions of the empire, huh? Is that what we're doing today?
Well, colonialism is and should be very much dead. And I can't guarantee that every course is food related, but I did, Jaipur kind of hits the mark.
Yeah, and so, but I meant to say this before and I didn't. So we actually decided because you're here at Potion Con, you already know about the cardboard alchemy game. So I
Yeah.
actually purposely did not put Critter Kitchen on this list, which would be the obvious choice. And I'm not putting any of my Homer picks. So I'm not putting Luna Rush on there, which is my brother's game. I'm not putting nothing. I'm going all separate stuff here. So my amuse bouche, starting out, is one that's called That's Not Lemonade. And
Okay.
this is a game. It's an older game. I've had it for a very long time. It was from Tuesday Night Games. They used to have a great podcast. Now they just do RPGs. But this is a quick game where each player is running their own lemonade stand. And you all got the best lemonade. And finally, that's it. Obviously, the only way to settle this is who can drink the most of their own lemonade without getting sick. But unfortunately, little Johnny came around, and little Johnny's added something to some of the cups that's not lemonade. And this is just a quick game where it's like 21, like blackjack. You're taking hits. And if you get an ice cube, that's fine. If you get lemon, that's fine. If you get the barf face, well, you drank something that
Oh.
wasn't lemonade and you're out. And it's got these fun little red solo cups that, you have to flip them down, pick them up if you pass or you hit, and then you knock them over when you've barfed. It should not be fun, but it is a fun little game. 5 minutes to teach or less, maybe 10 minutes to play. Plays up to five. Great time. Great time. And it has little cups to drink stuff out of as you're going, so you can actually tie it in together. So that's
Perfect.
my amuse bouche.
Perfect. That's nice. And so therefore, we're both kind of starting this virtual day off quite well. We both had our tasters there, and we're getting our palates not cleansed, but they're starting to come alive with some of these tasty little quick choices that we've made.
Yep,
Yeah.
you've blown your palate out with some spice, and I've ruined mine with urine. So it's a good start. Now that we think about this. All right, so moving into the soup now. The soup,
Yeah.
the rules behind the soup were a game that you play in 30 minutes or less, and I decided it has to have some kind of meaningful interaction, right? You had your, ooh, that was tasty, and then while you're having your soup, a little conversation, a little something. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll let you keep going first until you give me some nonsense, so you can keep going first
Okay,
here.
okay, it's a bit of a ham-fisted segue here, but in the Force
I do like
Awakens,
ham, so this is good.
yeah, keeping the food theme going. A bit of a ham-fisted segue. In the Force Awakens, there is Yoda eating root leaf stew, which is kind of a soup, basically. So I've gone for Star Wars: The Deck Building Game here. It's a great two-player game. Again, around about 30 minutes a game, and you have your row of cards in front of you that you're trying to bid on and make your either the rebellion or the empire stronger so you can defeat the other. I'm not a huge fan of deck building games, but I do like Star Wars, the deck building game, and I did think there was a tenuous link here with Yoda's root leaf stew. So there we go. My game is Star Wars, the deck building game.
Which still also connects to the Empire, so that's good. We're doing this.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
You're going to
I'm
get me
glad.
cancelled.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're very, very quickly going stretching the connection to food thin. Now this is the newer one, right? That has like the multi-use cards, or
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Well, they're laid either way on the display in front of you, so you get to buy the cards and upgrade your deck, and then do that. And you know what I'd say? I picked up early this year, and we've enjoyed playing it. Both myself and Neve have enjoyed playing this. It's great. We take it away in the motorhome or the RV, as I should say, and it certainly passes in
Keep
miles away some
workshopping
of the
that
time.
accent, buddy.
Yeah.
Like it looked like you might have been having a stroke on that one. Yeah, that's one that I don't have it, and I've thought about getting it because I think my wife would like it. Um,
Yeah.
but it's really there's not a lot of games that she likes to play that are like super aggressive. You're just beating each other up in that one, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly right. Yeah, yeah.
All right. So my next one is mouse, cheese, cat, cucumber. And so we got the cheese and the cucumber, and mouse eats cheese, right? So that's like multiple layers of the food there. But what this one does to me is it's hyper interactive because not only are you watching, what people are doing, but you're trying to figure out who they are as they go through, and you're trying to maneuver the mouse or the cat into a position where because you figured out what your opponents are doing, they can't win. Well, you're going to take the win. And this is another quick one. This one almost could have been an amuse-bouche. Even at
Well,
4 players, it's still about a 20-minute game or so. And
mhm.
I play this one a lot. It's almost always in my bag. It's got impossible for me to win solo mode that I play every now and then. And I feel good about myself, and I think I'm going to win. Then I lose. But yeah, this is one that I enjoy a lot. Quick, easy. That's my soup. That's my soup. And unlike you, it actually has food in the title. All right. So the next one is the fish course. Now for
Yes.
the rule of the fish was taps out at 90 minutes to play. It's got some meat to it, but we're not talking heavy. Not
Yeah.
talking that very, very broad rules here. And
Yeah.
let's see if you got something fishy.
And not only fishy, this ties in fantastically because there is a constellation called Pisces. So I have gone for Astra. There we go. Which is again
Oh.
another game that my wife again absolutely loves. This is a game that we played just again maybe 2 or 3 nights ago. So Astra is obviously the game where you are trying to fill out the constellation so you can claim the cards and therefore you get additional powers on those cards. Where you're trying to increase your victory points and increase your knowledge so you can get more of the constellations into your deck. There is a solo mode for Astra, which I've not tried yet, but you write on the cards as well, so there's an element of semi-destruction, but of course they wipe clean at the same time as at the end of the day, and you're collecting is it stardust as well to make
Yeah.
your to create so you can take additional actions. Really enjoy Astra, and there of course is a very fishy constellation called Pisces. So therefore, for me, fits the fish dish perfectly. That's
Yep.
Astra from Mind Clash Games.
No, I'm gonna give you did a better job on the fish course than I did.
Mm.
Now, do you have the promo pack with the ridiculous constellations that make
No, I
you
don't.
okay? So the promo pack has cards based off of all of Mind Clash's other games, and
Yeah.
so there's like a dinosaur one for Perseverance where to activate the power, you have to stand up and walk around the table like you're a dinosaur making dinosaur noises, and
Brilliant.
everybody else can get a lesser benefit if they follow you and also walk like a dinosaur. So it's got crazy stuff like that. So it's got one of the best promo packs I've ever seen. I actually took it with me to RageCon, and
Brilliant.
when someone had it, like, we're gonna do it. But of course, they had a bunch of those, 4x8 tables like next to each
Yeah.
other. So it was like a 40-foot around that we were doing to get back. And like the guy at the front wanted those points. He's like, I gotta get all the way around. So it's a great thing. All right. So I'm gonna give you did a better job on the food on that one. So I actually have this is the only time I have a who showed up to dinner choice to be made. Because it's
Okay.
either the loop or Reckoners, which are two co-op games working together, hard choices to be made of how you're spending your resources, but it just comes down to do the people at the table like the chaos of dice or not? That's the decision that has to be made. It's one of those things, because we all got
Okay.
some Euro friends that are like, don't, if the dice come into the house, I'm leaving. So
Yeah.
that choice there. But if it's you, I think for you, I'm going to go with the loop.
Okay.
Nice,
Well,
simple.
I think we played the loop the first time I came to visit you a couple of years ago, last year. Yeah, last year, and I did. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't think it's something I'd buy myself, but it was a good. It had enough meat on there just to make me think about stuff and what have you, but still being relatively light enough to play relatively quickly.
Yeah,
So yeah, I quite enjoyed the loop. Yeah.
yeah, nice quiz. Got some fun art, and what you didn't get into because we didn't get there, but it actually has levels of meat to it depending on which quest you want to do because they get
Yeah.
progressively harder and harder and harder, and then to some of the ones at the end, I don't know. It's a joke that you can win, I
Y-
guess. I don't know. But that's mine. Now, moving into the palate cleanser. Now, for the
Yeah.
palate cleanser, we just said it's something to get the juices flowing again, ready for a change of pace, probably around 30 minutes. Just a quick
Yeah.
thing like, okay,
So this is where we got our first crossover happening here. You had it as, I think, your soup dish, and I've got it as my palate cleanser. And we are talking mouse, cheese, cat, cucumber here. Again, you taught this to me at when I came to see you earlier this year. Have you noticed this, by the way? Is I'm constantly going to see Will, and yet, yeah, because of course he's so important, he cannot travel overseas and come and see cold, grey, and wet
I mean
UK.
that's true. I
But yeah,
definitely can't go overseas. Where was I last week, Mark?
all right. Yeah, you can't come overseas to this side of the world, though. Yeah, so you
I
went
mean, you're
even
going
further
south.
away, down. Yeah,
Yeah.
you went down.
All right, I'm going to commit right now. I'm
Yeah.
going to come to visit in June. You better be there.
Oh man, I'm washing my hair. So
Oh gosh, according to my arm, I gotta be
yeah.
anywhere.
Anywhere else. Yeah, so mouse, cheese, cat, cucumber. Obviously, we played it when I came to visit you. Then Seppi from Fighting the Box gave me a copy when I met up with him at Gen Con as well. And it's a great game where you have different winning conditions depending on who you're playing. And you've got these tiles that come out, which make each game that you play dynamic. Plays in about 30 minutes. If you haven't kind of sought out mouse, cheese, cat, cucumber, first of all, the name should stick with you. It's a fantastic game. It says exactly what the game is about, and it is really, really fun to play as well. So that's my palate cleanser. This is something, again, food related. I'm hitting it on every note at the moment, Will.
You are.
Again, food related. Yeah, it's going to fall apart soon, but I'm hitting it on every note so far. Then go and check out Mouse
And
Cheese
that's
Cat
good.
Cucumber.
That is a good food connection, and it was a really good one until I brought up my palate cleanser,
Go on.
which
You've
is
kind of got a decent food connection, yeah?
Kushi Express, which is a game about making meat skewers as fast as you possibly can, and you
There we
literally
go.
make the meat skewer. It's a
This is
dexterity
fantastic.
speed game.
And well done for alienating any vegans or vegetarians who are watching right now. So well done, yeah?
Absolutely, because well, now there is also on those meat skewers, you can also put tomatoes and peppers, and you have to sometimes wrap cheese around There are these
Vegan
big,
cheese.
yep, there's big chunky rubbery things, square cubes, and you literally are racing to get them onto the skewer in the right pattern. And it has like a long strip of bacon and a long strip of cheese that sometimes you have to wrap it around something before you put it on. It is the best dexterity game I've ever played. It's just
Okay.
total insanity.
Never
And
heard of it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it's weird. It's like we all have hands that we use until you start to play and then your hands just stop working. It's fantastic. I remember when it was sent to me, and Bernie Lynn from Dead Alive Games and Brendan from Dead Alive Games were over, and we were doing something else. And at the end, I was like, I got this game to try, and they read the rules, and Bernie was like, "This is either the dumbest thing ever made or the greatest. I don't know." And I have actually had to and uh, bought cases of it directly from Mandu Games because I would play it, and everyone's like, Can you get some
Give me
copy of that? I
more.
want to give that to everybody I know for Christmas." So I've actually literally bought 2 cases of this game and had shipped to me from Korea because people love this game so much. And it's all about
Brilliant.
food. So Kushi Express is
Nice.
my palate cleanser, and that is definitely that's winning the food race, I think. I don't think
Well,
anything's topping that.
on that one, yes, maybe. Yeah, yeah, okay. We can get there. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So
Now,
far.
let's see how we did on the main course. And everybody, this was the rules for the main course. As long and as heavy as you want. Done.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
knock yourself. Now, and what's funny is we were talking about it just before we started. Both of us almost put Uprising Curse of the Last Emperor on the list right here,
Yeah.
and neither of us did, but great minds clearly think alike.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is when we talk about Uprising: Curse of the Last Emperor, it is an underappreciated game. It did reasonably well in its Kickstarter. I know they just released all the expansions for it as well. But it is a beautiful looking game. It's got those wonderful acrylic standees. It's semi co-op at the same time, as well as having a solo mode.
Oh no, it's a co-op. Even
I
the
thought,
multiplayer, yeah.
right, okay, fine, and it's it's a bit of
Yeah,
a table hog.
don't bring a co-opetition game to my table. How dare you?
I'm not Michael Kelly. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
now dinner's
So I did.
ruined.
So for the main course, I was going to go down kind of the Beetle Lacerda route and thinking about a game that paired wonderfully with main course. So I was going to go down the Vinos route for the best wine game that's out there. Don't talk to me about viticulture; it's boring. But I decided to get
You know,
while
I but
sticking with that.
I'm gonna be a little pushback on that. The
Yeah,
viticulture world is
yeah.
very fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I played Viticulture, didn't really like it. Played the Essentials version of it, which is not the Essentials version because you then need to buy some other stuff to make it even better. So I don't know why they called it Essentials version, but it bored me, Viticulture. So it's not Viticulture, but sticking with that theme of pairing a drink with a meal, I've gone for Distilled,
Oh,
which is
that's a good yeah, that's a
from
good one.
from Patterson Games, which is all about obviously curating and making. Yeah, there we go. Creating and making liquors and spirits, etc. I'm a huge whiskey fan. I really enjoy whiskey. I've got a. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. I've just finished my bottle of Sexton Irish single malt, basically.
Whoa. Not with the children around.
Sorry,
Not with
no,
the
they're not
children.
here. My kids are gone. Yeah, so
No, it was a joke about Sexton and,
I see. Yeah,
yeah,
it's lost in translation. Yeah,
You see,
yeah,
now this is where we should cut this bit out because it
yeah. But
didn't
we're gonna
work.
keep it in.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's staying. Like, that joke fell so hard. Like,
So hard. Yeah.
it's still falling. It's still echoing.
So yeah, if you haven't played Distilled, designed by Dave Beck and from Patterson Games, first of all, the production quality is utterly outstanding. You've got wonderful game trays in there, and it's really thematic. You are buying cards from the marketplace. You are getting alcohol and grains and fruit, etc. And then you shuffle your hand of cards to make your drink, and then you discard the top and the bottom of that. And if you hit the right ingredients in your drink, you get to successfully make that drink. If you don't, you manage to not make the drink you were looking for, you can still fall back on moonshine or vodka, I believe it is. But it's a really kind of fun game about making spirits and liquors and alcohol that's not too difficult to learn and plays in around about 90 minutes, 60 to 90 minutes, etc. I absolutely love Distilled. I think what Dave did and the team there is kind of completely nail that feeling of distilling and making drinks. You can tell there's a lot of research and a lot of love gone into the game. I say I'm a huge whiskey fan, so for me it was a bit of a no-brainer. And if I'm having a nice meal, then invariably it will be followed, if I'm not driving, then with a nice glass of a single malt from somewhere. So my pick for the main course, not as heavy as it could be, certainly not as heavy as Vinos, is Distilled from Patterson Games.
I was gonna shake my head at you if you picked Vinos, but I can't shake my head at Distilled. Distilled actually almost made it onto my list as my fish course, actually.
Okay,
It almost
right,
made it on as my fish, and I just moved away from it. Yeah, I like this one. That's a really fun game, and
yeah.
I'd heard some people talking about the shuffling and the pulling of the cards and how they found it
Not liking
frustrating.
it. Yeah.
And you taught me how to play and convinced me to play. Yeah, it's really fun. I like that game. That's a really good. That's your best pick so far, I think.
Okay.
It's, it might be.
It's downhill from here. Yeah.
Well, most things with you are.
A bit like what your wife said to you on your wedding day, but there we go.
Oh, were you there? I'm still waiting for the
No,
gift money.
the restraining order was in place at that point. Yeah, so yeah, you couldn't come within 200 feet of me. So yeah.
Oh, right. That's why I kept having to keep walking. So this one I started out with one of the games that I love. I make as an event that I love to play. I started out with Vast Mysterious Manor,
Okay.
but there's just no food connection to it, so I let that
Okay.
one go. And I came around, and I'm glad yours is based off alcohol because mine's based on alcohol too, and that is
Okay. Good.
Rise of the Gnomes. where
Okay. Yeah.
everybody is making their own brewery and it's area control, but you are trying to dominate the beer market. And this is one in the cooperative version. There's a co-opetition version also, which people who like that kind of game adore, but I just always lose to the gnomes, and that's what everyone does in the competitive version. But the cooperative version, I adore. So you each of you are a fantasy race with your own style of beer that you make and your own style of powers that comes along with it, like the vampires. You can go and turn other customers into your customers through
Okay.
the power of your beer, stuff like that. There's like the goblins can go out and kind of like buy people to do things, and you have mermaids can make breweries in the water, but it is a fantastic area control game with a really cool worker placement mechanism. How every single round the available worker placement spots change because you deal out cards, and not only
Yeah.
are some of them not out there, but they activate in a very specific order every round. So there's always this discussion of, okay, well, no, I need to build a brewery, but I'm not going to have enough money if you take that spot. So give me that spot, and you go over here, and I'm going to use. It's a fantastic game based around beer. Doesn't get as much attention as it deserves. I've been trying to get you a copy of it, but it's just so big. It's so
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe I'll stuff one in my
Bring
bag.
one over in June. Yeah, bring one over
Yeah,
in June next year. Yeah, you can
yeah,
leave it on the doorstep because we won't be around. But yeah, that's fine.
yeah. Of course, of course, of course.
And I
I'll
think
just, I'll just go in and stay in your house because I'll just throw the box at your wall. It'll just break a hole right through. I'll just be right inside.
I think
All right.
when we come to the kind of the main course and looking at food, I think this is where Crit Kitchen's going to potentially kind of hit the mark, isn't it? Because there will be some food related heavier games. I've got Feast for Odin upstairs, and I was going to mention Feast for Odin. There is of course Food Chain Magnet, but in terms of a fun interactive food-based game, then it feels like Critter Kitchen could be kind of marrying up perfectly for most people's main courses in the future.
Yeah, and I just played another game yesterday, and especially as you add in all the various modules that they have to make it a little heavier, a little lighter, depending on your taste. Haha. How have
Nice.
neither of us made a taste joke yet?
No,
Shame
no,
on
not
us.
yet. Yeah,
Shame on us. Yeah, so this is actually where if this wasn't a cardboard alchemy thing and it wouldn't look like a total homer, this is where I probably would have stuck Critter Kitchen actually.
yeah.
All right, home stretch here. The one that makes no sense to us.
No sense at all.
The
Yeah.
cold salad.
So I'm going a little bit off piste with the
Now hold
cold
on,
salad.
wait. Everyone has to
All
know
right, you need
what the
to
rules are. The
explain
rules
what
are.
it is. Yeah,
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 so
yeah.
it's a change of pace, and it should be a Euro game because this has got to be some European nonsense of eating
Yeah,
your
yeah,
salad after your main course. So a
yeah.
Euro game, some kind of change of pace. It sounds like you
Def-
said you're going off the rails, so
yeah, I'm kind of sticking with something after the main course and before the dessert. I don't believe in this cold. I mean, I love a salad, but there's a place for it, and it's certainly not after the main course in my eyes, basically. Yeah. So I think after the main course, what you want to do before the dessert is potentially sit back, relax, let the food
oh, I get it. So
digest.
you're
Now,
just ignoring the rules on this. I got it.
no, no, not quite, not quite. And just letting the food digest before you go to the dessert. And of course, in days gone by, then people would sit back with a big fat cigar and just kind of and talk about how opulent they were and how overprivileged they are. So in the UK, there's a cigar called Hamlet. So for my cold salad or in between main course and dessert, I've gone for Hamlet, the village building game by Mighty Boards, of course. It is a beautiful, serene game where you are farming resources, food and wood and wheat, etc., and you're upgrading and you're trying to build the village church so that your hamlet, which is in the UK is a village without a church, can become a village. And therefore, once a church is built, that's it. So I say there's a cigar in the UK called Hamlet, so I've gone for Hamlet, the village building game by Mighty Boards.
Okay. All right. I see what you did there. And mostly just
Yeah.
rubbing it in because I really wanted Hamlet and I didn't get it. So you're
Oh,
just rubbing
I
that
think
one
you'd
in.
like it. Yeah, I do think you'd
Yeah,
like it.
I
Yeah.
don't know why I didn't pick it up, but someday I'll steal it when I come out. After I throw Rise of the Gnomes through your wall to get in, that's one of the ones I'll
Yeah,
take with
that's
me.
what you do. Okay, fine.
All right, so for my palate, this was the hardest choice for me. I had a whole bunch that I was thinking about, but because of the food connection, I went with backyard chickens.
Okay, cool.
A
Yep.
nice, light, easy deck builder with I think, pretty darn clever mechanic for getting the resource you need to buy stuff, the eggs of your keeping these chickens happy. You gotta, the happier the chicken, the more eggs you're gonna get. But now you don't get to eat the chickens. Let's be clear. They're backyard chickens, all right? You get eggs. You get the
Eggs.
eggs. And I actually tried to get a promo event card made that was just gonna be the Hungry Gamer, and it was just gonna be like a big ol' like fried chicken bucket, and it was just gonna be like one chicken disappears, but they wouldn't go for it. They wouldn't let me do it.
They wouldn't go.
No, no, no. I thought it was great. They said, "Why would you eat someone's chicken from their backyard?" I was like, "Well, you put it that way. Like you put it like that. That's
Yeah.
messed up."
Yeah.
But backyard chickens, a lovely, just pure little deck builder, plays quick, and coming off of something like Rise of the Gnomes, which is a
Yeah.
bit heavier, nice change of pace. And actually, I didn't even process this. Same publisher, actually. Both those
Okay.
games. Yep, didn't even stop to think about that. All right, we're coming into our dessert.
Yes, we
And
are.
the rule for the dessert, not too long. Should
Yeah.
energize you enough to feel good as you make your way back home.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was going to kind of feed Bambi to everybody as dessert, but I didn't think it would be fair, so I'll let it be a feast for your eyes. Here's Bambi. There we go. But I
And she
decided to
hasn't
go.
yapped once. Usually when we
No,
record, there's at least one yap.
she's been fast asleep on the seat next to me this entire time, basically. So yeah. So there is, I suppose, you could say for my dessert, there is a tenuous link to food because it's about different land types, etc. But it is a game that I think most people love when they play it, and it does make you feel good, whether you win or lose the game. And that's Cartographers, which is a pleasant enough game to kind of end an evening on. It doesn't take too long. You've got a little bit of kind of it's not combat, potentially bad things coming in, but you are obviously drawing your shapes on your individual maps. Everybody gets their own maps. Everybody gets to play it their own way, and it takes, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes to play, 25 minutes to play a game of Cartographers. It's a perfect way to wind down from an evening. It's a very tenuous food selection connection because there are different land types, and but that's really as close as
And
I could
and
get it
and
on there.
and people have to eat. Is that what you're going with?
Yeah, you have to get food from the land to eat, so therefore that's what it. And you know what? You have the pads are individual paper, so if you really struck for food, you could eat one of the
Eat the
sheets.
pad. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow. You really finished this thing on a bang. It's a
yeah,
it's a it,
yeah.
it's a good thing a good thing I let you go first. Goodness gracious. So I'm finishing up. So I actually went a different direction. So you went the direction of this kind of little bit of discussion, kind of wind down to end the night. I went the
Yeah.
other direction. And the
Okay.
reason I went the other is because often when I go to a game day, I have to drive, sometimes an
Okay.
hour home because
Okay.
California. Well, you've been here a few times. It's everything is so spread out and it's so big.
Yep.
Like I can literally drive 45. I live in San Jose, California. I can literally drive 45 minutes and still be in San Jose, California.
Yeah. I
So
can drive 45 minutes and be in a different country. So
yeah,
not
Wales,
quite, but
right?
yeah.
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 All right, but I went for something that's gonna do. It does two things. One, well, three things. Is also it is food and drink related. So one, it's gonna get you laughing and energized, ready to kind of go home, and it has the ability as the last game of the night to people can leave when they're done because there's elimination
Okay.
in this game. This is one of the only times. There's two times I think player elimination is good in a game. One at the very beginning, if you have a lot of people, it's like okay, first four people out of this game, you go start something. That's how we're dividing up. Like you can do that, or the end
Yep.
of the night, and that is Red Dragon Inn.
Oh,
All about
okay. Yep.
having drinks, having fun, laughing. It's not long,
Yeah.
it's probably about 30-45 minute game. Lots of laughs. Get your get the energy back up. You finish. Invariably, you've gotten, if you're like me, you've gotten beaten up and you're out of the game, and you can just gather up your stuff, head on home, and Great way to end the night, I think. So Red Dragon Inn, and it is drink related.
Yeah. And I keep mentioning this game to my Dungeons and Dragons group because I think as in on the kind of those times when we come out of a heavy fight or a heavy encounter or a heavy part of the campaign, it'd be nice just to retire to an inn and just spend a session, playing a few rounds of Red Dragon Inn. I think I've only played it with you, but I had a tremendously fun time. I think playing it with you as well. Yeah,
Yep. It's just the silliest. I bring it up a lot. It's pure take that. I mean, that's it. It
yeah,
is take that with funny bits of fluff and funny pictures and funny
yeah,
characters and
yeah,
ridiculous drinks. But so
yeah,
that's how I'd close it up. So if we're scoring, and I have been,
yeah.
I
I win.
had 6 games that had a strong or at least tenuous connection to food out of my 7. The only one that I missed, really couldn't argue, was my fish course, which was the loop of the Reckoners.
I think I managed to link everything. Or
Hmm.
yeah. All right.
Hmm.
So my Star Wars deck building game based around Yoda's root leaf stew. That was
Does,
no.
does does the
Uh,
root leaf stew actually show up in the game?
no.
Does
But
Yoda show up in the game?
no. But he eats it in I think the Force Awakens. So therefore it kind of fits.
Yoda
And
eating the Force leaf stew in the Force Awakens after he's been dead for 2 movies.
yeah, who knows? Who knows? Yoda's never dead. No, and I'm sure if I rearrange the letters of Star Wars deck building game, I could make it spell a food.
Some kind of okay, all right.
Yeah. And of course, cartographers. I think I absolutely hit the nail on the head with cartographers. It's very much food related. You can
Yeah,
eat the path.
and if you put all the letters from both of those games together, you can probably spell out Mark did a great job. I mean, you'd have to turn the W over to get your M, but
Yeah.
beyond that, I think you got it. And make it a C instead of a K, but we're close. We're close.
I didn't know
All
it was
right.
competitive, and I think what it goes to show is what we've gone through here. It goes to show the difference between the American palate and, of course, the far superior British palate as well.
Oh
In
yes,
fact,
yes, the
we're a little bit
world famous British cuisine. What is the national food of the UK? What is that?
probably
It's a
it's
curry,
like
Mark. It's a
it is
curry.
curry. It's chicken tikka masala. But however, you saw the Yorkshire puddings I created for you guys when I came over to visit. You have been indoctrinated into the ways of Henderson's relish and Bombay Bad Boy pot noodles as well.
A tragedy happened. A tragedy happened.
No,
So everyone, we're totally off here. But when Mark came out here, he brought a bunch of British junk food. Fair, yeah, British junk food. And
yeah, most of them, but yeah.
yeah, and one of them was the best darn cup of noodles I've ever had. And so I found a place that just sells British and Irish and Scottish foodstuffs. And so I got a bunch of this Henderson's relish and a bunch of other like weird chutneys and stuff that my wife thought sounded good, like black Irish butter and all kinds of stuff. And I got some of these pot noodles. And we had someone when we were in the Galapagos, we had someone staying. And we always tell him, like, eat whatever you want in the fridge. He ate one of my pot noodles.
No,
Right?
no,
And I was like,
yeah.
but you, I had them hidden. How did you even find those? Oh,
Was he a convert now? Is he
I
of the
don't
way of
know
the
because
pot noodle?
I
No.
haven't had the heart to be like, you eat my pot noodle?
I'm coming at you. So yeah, and I think it would be interesting to see what other people would come up with as a 7 course meal as well. Anybody who's watching this, and kind of tying it back to critical, you've got the world at your oyster. You've got all of the famous kind of animal-based chefs cooking for you. And what would be your seven course meal that you could make out of board games?
I don't know.
I'm not saying I'm not saying there's a prize.
Because I mean,
I
I don't know that we did a good job. But yeah,
yeah,
drop down in the comments, or I don't know how it's working on Potion Con, but yeah, which ones would you have? And what actually, what I really want to know
yeah.
is which one of our meals would you prefer to have?
Oh,
You want
even
Mark's
better.
meal or
Yeah,
do you want
yeah, yeah.
Will's meal? That's what we really need to know. And you
I
know
mean,
what?
yours did.
Let's put it this summer. We're gonna put a nice whiskey on it. That's gonna be the
Okay,
bet. This
fine.
summer,
Fair enough.
We're
Yep.
gonna see. So everybody, you better put my meal down in the comments here.
Don't do
So
that. Don't do that. No,
so
no, don't
whose
do
meal
that.
do
And
you prefer?
he did put some obscure games on there. Remember that as well. Yeah.
The most
So
obscure one on there you had on your list too. What are you talking about?
but no, you had some meat skewering game on there and Rise of the
Okay, no,
Gnomes. Yeah, yeah.
that game is a tragically underrated. All right, everyone needs to play
I
that game.
believe it's actually a good pick, but there we go. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you side with Will, then you enjoy kind of oversized American processed meals. If you side with me, it's all about potentially the blandest food you've ever eaten in your life. But there we go. That's the two ends
And the
of our
blandest
cuisine
food
right there.
served in a very cold environment with candles that aren't lit and nothing on the walls.
Hey, I got dressed for the occasion. I had
But you don't.
a
Are
full,
you wearing
a
pants?
proper, yeah, ish. I'm not saying whose they are, but I'm wearing some. I had a full glass of a very posh Diet Coca Cola there. I even brought Bambi onto the screen as well. You're in your t-shirt, and you've probably got your Donald Trump underpants on underneath that as well. So it's
Whoa, too
okay.
far. Simmer down, Boris Johnson.
So everybody, make sure you're going back. Obviously, Critter Kitchen, which hits Kickstarter or GameFound. I don't know which way
I
it's
think
on,
it's
but
game. One of the two. So, you know
one
what?
of the two
Peter
hits.
Vaughn. Peter Vaughn is watching this right now, and he is hemorrhaging because we couldn't remember if it's. Well, it's not backer kit. We know that.
Oh, we know that. Look, and it's not Indiegogo. So it hits crowdfunding in the next few days. So make sure you go and back Critter Kitchen. We both played it. We played it with Peter. We played it together. Will's got a video out on it. Really, really had a great time with the game. Kind of the artwork on it is fantastic. There's a lot of player interaction as well as kind of making sure you make those dishes yourself. It's a great, great game. So make sure you back Critter Kitchen when it hits crowdfunding in a
And
couple
I
of
think you
days.
can probably also still get it on Andromeda's Edge if that is more your
Oh wow,
speed.
yeah,
I
yeah, and we
think so.
loved that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's still in late pledge. And if it's not, it should be. So Peter can hemorrhage again. He's like, I can't do it. Well,
Perfect.
all right, everybody. So there you have it. First episode of the Two Gluttons. Make sure you let us know that my meal is better down in the comments and what your meal would be. And also make sure you check out Not Bored Gaming if you haven't already. Enjoy the rest of Potion Con. I know something's coming up next after this. It's probably going to be way more funny than we are. Oh, it
Yeah,
is because I
it's
believe it's the
cramped.
comedy stylings of Grant Lyon.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we're giving him a close run for his money there, but
Yeah.
he's not quite on our level yet. So
No, no, I mean,
no, no.
someday he will have our mastery of comedy and have as many
And
people wishing that we would stop talking.
yeah,
Um,
and of
you know,
course, the art of good comedy is the art of
timing.
good comedy. Oh, for God's sake! Bye, everybody.